Ladies and gentlemen, before we really get started, I wanted to say kind of a weird thank you. So, hear me out. Let's say you're about to go to your job, okay? Alright, job time. And as you're going to your job, um, you're like, I'm gonna go play Pikmin. So you go play Pikmin for a bit, and then, oh my god, you're late to your job. Normally that would be what we in the business refer to as a bad thing, right? But I can do that because y'all are awesome and are tolerant of allowing me to be able to do things like that. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you. Now I know what you're thinking. Laura, why would you randomly be playing Pikmin out of nowhere? Well, that's only part of the story. Because if I told you the whole story, you'd probably understand better. But if you were like a normal 9-to-5 boss... How so, Dakota? I don't see it. Then, you'd probably just be like, well, you're fired, because you weren't doing this thing. But let me tell you a bit of mitigating circumstances. So I had just woken up. I hadn't even gotten out of my PJs yet. And I'm like, ugh. And an extremely young, extremely adorable niece came up and said in a very polite and adorable tone, could we please play Pikmin together? And, I lacked the ability to say no to that. So I'm like, okay, let me go finish getting breakfast and doing the dishes, and then we'll play Pikmin. So I go downstairs, and she's just chatting with me the whole time. She's very creative. And so she likes just kind of talking. So I'm doing the dishes, getting all that lined up, get the dishwasher running. And the whole time she was helping me, we got her this little wand. It's actually designed to get the inside of cups. Like you get in, it gets down into here. But she loves using that to help do the dishes. So she grabs that and she starts helping me do the dishes, and she's talking about how you've got to make sure to get as much bubbles as possible, because the bubbles are what actually clean it, obviously. So she's there bubbling it all up and helping me, and I'm like, here, do you need some water? She would just hold out the wand. Here you go, water. She's like, wait, you need bubbles? And she'd splash some bubbles on the dish I was doing. Okay, here you go. And after helping me do the dishes, she's like, okay, and now we could play Pikmin. And so then we did. I don't know what else to add to that, really. But I guess I do, because the whole point of this is thank you. Thank you for being patrons, I suppose is really the correct term there, that enable me to, if something comes up, spend time with an adorable niece. Speaking of, right. So, thank you very much, Blade Duvall, as always. I'm going to laugh when all three of those are fun, and you're like, oh no. Okay, so there's this... So we've set it to timing mode auto. I'm going to turn that back down to manual. Actually, I'm going to turn it down to semi-auto. That sounds like a better idea. But I'm going to turn victory option on. And I want to explain why, because someone pointed that out to me. Because I feel like we might have a bit of precedence for the Pixel remasters here. Believe it or not. But first I need to write down subs, because holy crap. Clearly I just need to have her come up here and be like, could you please sub to Uncle Lore? I'm not doing that. I might do the opposite, have her come up and say, please don't sub, please stop giving him money. Okay, so Dragon Age 4, Star Ocean 2R, Pokemon Legends ZA, Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 4, and Final Fantasy 8. Thank you, Blade Duvall, and thank you, Candyman. Always appreciate it. Okay, so let's poke at this option. So, obviously, as I've already pointed out and proven, the combat's a little unbalanced. But what I now have the option to do is to just win. I have just removed trash encounters from the game. It's just in the menu. It's just a menu option. So the reason this is precedence is because there's several features in the Pixel Remaster games that, you know, exist, and those things it substantially improve the game, but the things it's improving are still there and still bad. I was actually talking with Pax about this just last night. Well, that's a good question, Mr. Ed. We'll find out, won't we? I've drawn a little masterpiece hidden in 3 red seats. Starting first on the left, counterclockwise, search them each. Three red seats. Well, there's two, and there's one. Oh, here we go. And I should probably actually go counterclockwise there and not be a moron. Sorry. I have no idea when that got muted. I must have hit the button by accident at some point. I have no idea how long that's been muted. It is not. It was never supposed to be muted. But yeah, if I don't feel like engaging with combat, I can just be like, goodbye. I would have loved this button back in FF13, I'll tell you what. Ooh, yes. More speed. More speed. They're going to do a pixel remaster of FF13. Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure they're ever touching FF13, and I'm not even sure if I care. Nope, not this one. Okay. Like, I don't mean to sound dismissive, because as I've pointed out, it would be relatively easy, compared to some games, to fix FF13. Most of the building blocks are there. The hallway doors may seem a jest, though they are but another test. The true path will come inside if you go left, and right. That's Safina's room, over there. I'll go and heal. If I really need to. What's this thing in my way? Oh, it's a barrier, but there's something strange about it. It's shaped like a heart? Well, there's that. Barriers are usually meant to keep friends and ordinaries out. Fiends and ordinaries out, excuse me. Barriers are meant to keep friends out. But this one won't even let us pass. Friends and ordinaries? Nice to be lumped together in that category. Sorry, fiends. Oh my god, it's fiends. It's fiends and ordinary. I can't read. Don't worry now. I know you meant nothing by it. This is Safina's doing? Yeah, it looks like her work. At the time I wanted to go to my school. The day she turned 13, the Raven came to Safina. She was so excited. She was a natural magician, but I had no talent, not a pinch of magic in me. Remember, you were only as good as you were born. So when I turned 13, the Raven never came, of course. First I hoped I was just a late bloomer, that my time would come. But that was wishful thinking. Either a witch, ordinary. It took me years to get over it. It's kind of embarrassing. I guess I was right after all. I am a late bloomer. Really late. What was that? We're trapped. This is glass? Hello? Merritt, this kitten is a boss fight. Oh my god. Oh my god. That hurt. Adorable. 60 health? Fair, Blake Javal. No, that's very valid. Okay. Yeah, I'm not into cats all of a sudden. It's very weird. Okay. I like how it encourages us to be offset on our grid, but holy crap. Oh my god. Okay. Once again, I have the most, like, experience and equipment that I can at this point. This is not a situation that's changed. Let's use a Phoenix down here and hope for the best. I haven't even damaged it yet, I just realized. Well, that's not a victory option then. Yeah, that's just Zenmoto. Or Bribe, which is also an FF10. Okay, we're doing some damage. Okay, sure. Are you kidding? I think it's great, Mr. Red. In fact, the fact that it has no cost is kind of, like, awesome. Okay, well, she's fine, which means... Okay. Oh, goody. Now I'm going to take even more damage. At least I'm doing good damage. How much health does it have left? 30. I haven't even gotten it at half. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Yeah, let's heal. I suppose that's true, Mr. Red. And friction is good, and blah, blah, blah. But every now and again, I'm glad when a game just kind of lets you play the way you want to without being a dick about it. Because most games that let you play the way you want to are a dick about it. See FF13! And the fact that it penalizes you for turning down the difficulty. And she's dead. Well, there's no terrain to speak of to utilize Trihexia, only positioning. So there's not a lot I can do that I'm not already doing. Ooh, okay. Okay, we're gonna gamble that I can live for one more round. Which I could not. Literally, I was one round away from victory. One round away from victory. You know the other reason that's a nice feature, Mr. Red? I was literally one round away from victory, right? So, I win. So it's a glass summoning cat. That just happened! I've seen a cat use magic before. It seemed really familiar. So we can't just get into Saf's room. What's our plan B? We could try to find Rook. You and Saf's room, the book nerd? Yeah, he's here for summer too. He's really smart. Like me, he'll probably be helpful. Sounds like a plan to me. Where's his room? Go through that door. It's on the ground floor. Alright, let's go. I think part of the problem for me, Mr. Ed, is I'm very big on choice. In general, not just in gaming. So if a player decides to, for example, never play the game and just auto-win their way through every encounter, that's their choice. And I'm okay with that. This is actually nothing new. Like, as I've said many, many times, I'm in favor of casual difficulty, which is specifically a reference to StarCraft 2. Casual difficulty can be referred to as brain-dead difficulty. Like, there's no difficulty. You're just going to absolutely steamroll over everything, even if you barely have the ability to control the game. But that's the point. That's why that difficulty option exists. For people who have disabilities, or for people who don't actually enjoy the gameplay, or for people who... Whatever, yeah, exactly. It's story mode. That's exactly what it is. I've been in favor of story mode for quite some time. I sure hope not try Hexic. That would be terrible. So, Metal Fan asks an interesting question. What's a golden number? So, I've only been using the golden number for about 6 or 7 years now. Actually, you know what? No. I actually do have access to literally the first time I used it. Let's look this up here. To the day, I can tell you when I first started using the golden number. But yeah, as it happens, if you type !GN into chat, you get a link to a video I put together explaining what the golden number is. It's a bit of an old video, but it's still accurate, I think. Unless it still does the logarithmic thing. Oh god. Could someone watch that video real quick and tell me if it still uses the old math? The pre-StarCraft 2 math? Archives. Here we go. If it does, I need to re-record that. Here we go. We have been using the golden number since October 17th, 2017. 10/17/2017. That's it's basically 8 years, a little over 8 years. That's a weird thought, actually. An interesting mindset, Mr. Ed, although one that generally doesn't work in reality land. Let me use a specific example. Let's say you can only get the good ending if you don't use the instant win button. This is something that's actually happened before in games. So what do you think actually happens then? Do you think the player uses the instant win button, gets through the game, and then replays the game properly? No, they go and YouTube it. because they're not going to go through it again. Especially since usually it doesn't tell you up front. Yeah, there's actually this is a trend that goes back to the NES and arcade stuff, really. I mean, hell, Ghosts and Ghouls is actually kind of infamous for this exact thing. Yeah, Golden Axe did that too. Great Grump is hangry. Can I, like, feed you? Hey, would you like an item? Would you like a mushroom? Oh, you're too far away. Damn. In that case, I'll just murder you. Achievements, by contrast, I'm fine with. That's a really good example. So be on me. Because, yeah, achievements are... I'm trying to think how to phrase this without sounding insulting. There's no tangible benefit to an achievement. Let's put it that way. In most games. Like, if you platinum something in the PS4 or whatever, what you get is the knowledge that you platinumed it. Like, that's your benefit. Now, that's fine, for the record. I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying that's what you get out of that. I will be completely honest at that point. Like, my mentality is just, why not just say, hey, I did it? But I understand that not everyone works like that mentally, and I'm not going to try and pretend like they should. To use a specific example, I know that I've done several things in WoW hard, when it was really, really hard to do. I don't have some kind of reward or benefit for having done so. It's just something that, oh, well, let me feed him. It's just something I know, and that I'm very satisfied at having accomplished. Oh, shoot. I guess we're going to have to kill him now. Oh, well. But like I said, I know most people don't work that way, and that's fine. No judgment. Why would you? That's true, Lord Harma. FTL plays with that concept too. In a little bit of a different way. Like, you get a reward for doing this. Oh my god, he's eating his ally. Oh my god. That's horrifying. You monster. FTL kind of rewards you for doing certain types of playthroughs with new types of ships, but if we're being honest, that's not, like, leveling in the strictest sense of the word. That's just, here's a different challenge mode for having done this. Which, again, is fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm with Mook on this one. What's funny is it's a relatively recent concept for me. Ooh, new spell. Because arguably the first game I've seen that lets you win without detriment, like lets you cheat without detriment, was Celeste. Which I know isn't exactly that new of a game, but it's still relatively new, all things considered. And I never really realized how much I preferred that system until I saw it in action. For whatever it's worth, I actually went back through Celeste on the Switch after we did our first playthrough back in the day, and replayed Celeste without any kind of assist or cheats or anything, and that was awesome. Although I guess we didn't use assists on camera either time we streamed it, do we? Not counting the super optional hard stuff at the end. Because screw that noise. So, yeah, I'm just gonna... Hello, Game Geek. Ah, my money! My money! Well, no, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I agreed with you until I encountered the opposite. And I was just like, oh, this can work. I mean, as weird as it may sound, Blade Deval, the alternative at that point would be to go and just YouTube it and accept not having a sale for your game. Ooh, poison. Of course, Blade Deval doesn't agree with running from battles, so grain of salt there. I was actually thinking about it because there is a game, I'm trying to remember which it was. Pax and I were talking about this last night. Because I bet you money what happened was the game is balanced. So I've already given this theory, and more playing around with the system has proven me right. That the game is balanced around getting great. Not nices, greats. Here, let's talk this out for a second. Because I put some real thought into this. Let's assume you have a Paper Mario style game, right? What do you balance the game around? Because there's three gradients, right? There's don't do any inputs at all. There's do inputs correctly, and then there's do inputs perfectly. That goes all the way back to Super Mario RPG, because there was still the parry concept, the three-frame thing, all the way back in SMRPG. Okay, cool. So how do you balance your game? Now, if you balance it around never getting... let me use the worst possible example. If you balance it around getting the parries, the three-frame windows, what's going to happen is if you look at the gradient of all players who are going to play the game, the overwhelming majority of them are going to have a horrible time because they either can't or won't bother to actually get the parry frame timing. They'll run into a difficulty wall and they'll put down the game in frustration until other people don't play it and blah, blah, blah. And it'll suck. Okay, so you don't balance around the parries. Cool, fine. And yeah, even if you can, it's a built-in punishing system. Do perfectly every time or else. You are never rewarded. You are only ever punished. Now, if you balance it around not doing any input, that's arguably actually still a good thing, as weird as that sounds. In fact, a parry is a perfect frame block. If you don't know what a parry is, I got nothing for you, J. Palmer. If you... Go Google it. If you... don't use Google AI, they're wrong. If you balance it around the concept of getting the inputs correct all the time, you have the same general problem, but gradient, because the input timing for the correct input for normal inputs is a lot more lenient, but it does still mean you're almost never going to actually gain any benefit out of doing it correctly. You're only ever punished unless you miraculously get the perfect timing. Now, there is a subset of players who are going to do the perfect timing, who either want to or have the skill or whatever. Those people will be able to have a much easier time in order to push through the game, because they'll be rewarded for doing that. But that still leaves the majority of your player base as either being punished or just having the standard experience. So if you're hearing me, the correct answer here is to balance your game around the bottom thing, or more accurately, the bottom thing 0.5. Because I actually sat down and did some real math on this, and Lo and behold, Paper Mario 1 and 2, the best of those series, both do exactly this. They balance the overall damage output and health of the enemies and bosses around the idea that approximately 50% of the time you will get the normal input. So it's literally no input, 0.5, right? That means the overwhelming majority of the time, if you do something right, you are benefited from doing so, right? As long as you can hit those inputs over half the time, you are being rewarded for having done so. If you get parry timings, you are rewarded substantially because the parry window, parry is much better, right? In some of the games, it literally completely blocks the damage and actually does a counterattack. So your input and output are both changed. But it also means if you don't engage it at all, you're a little bit behind the curve, but not enough that you're super detrimented. Because good equipment, grinding, or items can make up that difference at that point. It's more or less the perfect way to do it, if I might be so, I hate to use the word perfect, but I'm not sure how you could do it better. This worked great. Then we have this game. And I'll tell you what probably happened, because I can predict this. And there's another game that did this, and I can't remember what it is. But the game was balanced around the fact that you're always going to get the parry timing. And then at some point in the line, either the developer or the QA testers or whatever, somewhere along the line, someone looked at this and said, this is a problem. And rather than spending the time and effort going back and rebalancing everything, which would take a substantial amount of work and effort to do it properly, and it would, let's be clear, good balancing is time-consuming more than anything else, they gave us a toggle. In fact, they gave us two. One makes it so you always get the parry timing every single time, and one makes it so you can just hit a button to instantly win a combat. I hesitate to use the word lazy there, because that's not what laziness is, but it feels like that's exactly what they did, was, okay, here. It is a crutch. It is a crutch. It is an element of bad design that is being overcome by an option they've put into the game. And again, like I said, Pax and I talked about this a while last night, and we decided this is going to be a positive and a negative scenario. The fact that I've run into this problem so early into the game says a lot, you know? I don't know, Jay Palmer. And that's the honest answer to that. We've been looking at alternatives, and let's just get this out of the way. There are none. There's nothing that does what Discord does, even remotely as well, without having a ton of other issues or flaws that come along with it. Even just making a straight-up forum is going to be a whole thing. And how many people do you think are going to make the transition from Discord to forum if we did decide to pull that trigger? Oh, nice. I can see. Ooh, rancid fruit. Sweet. Wait, there's something else. Heavy earrings. Increased defense and speed. No, yeah, it would suck, Jay Palmer. The bottom line here is that if the Discord goes away, then Discord is going away. There is no alternative. That's it. That's the answer. Yeah, we'll see, Jay Palmer. They're trying really, really hard to damage control right now. But we all knew Discord was a temporary thing anyways. The very moment they decided to go public is the exact moment that we knew Discord was dying. It was not the first time. It was not the last. So, it was a nice run. Moving on. The biggest thing I'm going to be irritated by is it's going to make it so much harder to coordinate for things like the theater or the rewrite. Yeah, that's another thing. This is not exactly the first straw here. But it might be the last straw. For some reason, students have been spending a lot of time in the second stall. These refrain from monopolizing the toilets, as the rest of us has business to do, too. Oh, I don't know. Under normal circumstances, I'd say pretty soon, but, like, I don't know. The current internet environment is kind of wonky. You know? Like, there'll be some open source alternative to Discord, and then it'll turn out it's something horrible. Or something. Like, that's actually already true. There's already several open source alternatives to Discord, and if you actually look into them, it's like, oh, no, I'm good. Yeah, that's not even counting, like, the actual outright scams. Being a ghost isn't all that easy, I tell you. The things students get up to when they think nobody's watching. Ugh. I don't want to know. Still don't sell any gear worth a damn. I can't help but notice. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's Rook's room. Hello. Oh, visitors? It's about time. Are you Rook? Ho, 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 ho. This is my lucky day. Gilda? What are you doing sitting here in the dark? Where's Rook? Rook? You've only got one person to worry about right now, Nell. And that's me. Gilda, what are you talking about? Oh, Nell, you wouldn't believe it. My magic's always been so weak, right? Fizzling out, blowing up in my face, everyone laughs at me. And then I heard this loud crack, and I felt a huge surge of energy. Wait, that's like... And then something happened. Something... magnificent! I think you might be right, Trixia. Was that lightning? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Isn't it just so me? Gilda, how did you get such a power? That's not important right now. What's important is this lovely new friend you brought here. She looks tough. Is she tough? Merit, Safina's sister. Yeah, she's really strong. We're actually looking for her. Safina is a hot sister? We must duel. Please don't kill me. We don't want to fight you, Gilda. What? Yes, you will. Because if you can beat me, I'll tell you what happened to Safina. You know? When you wake up your mind, you know where to find me, cutie. Yeah, oh no, she's hot! I was about to say, can I save before the boss battle, please? Yeah, apparently Kennex Cow. Who knew? Oh god, this really is Slow RPG. Well, miraculously, Slow RPG is this, because this predates Slow RPG by like 2 years. Telling you, we're gonna kill God with the power of lesbians. Yeah. Let's go do that. Yeah. Oh, it is super duper illegal, J. Palmer. Now, what is illegal has mattered less lately because a lot of people aren't enforcing things. It's showtime.
What is it like to be loved and so adored? If I could be just as good as you, I'll never have to wonder. I can be better than I've ever been before. I'll do what it takes, I know I can be number one. No matter what they say, I'll never lose my way. I'm so much stronger. If I don't win, then what does that make me? Someone who's got nothing to show for. If I should lose and just be second best, I can't be good enough for you. I won't lose to you. Look at me now, it's showtime. What is it like to be loved?
Oh, there's the loop. Thank you for the donation, J. Palmer. I'll jot it down in a second, if you'll forgive me.
I'll never have to wonder. I can be better than I've ever been.
This is getting good. Let's see how you handle this. Gilda uses exposition.
No matter what they say, I'll never lose my way. I'm so much stronger. If I don't win, then what does that make me? Someone who's got nothing to show for. If I should lose and just be second best, I can't be good enough for you. I won't lose to you. Look at me now, it's showtime. What is it like to be loved and so adored? If I could be just as good as you, I'll never have to wonder. I can be better than I've ever been before. I'll do what it takes, I know I can be number one. No matter what they say, I'll never lose my way. I'm so much stronger. If I don't win, then what does that make?
Why am I not winning!
Someone who's
I'm
gone
doing so terribly. I'm better than this.
if I should
Are you?
and just be second best. I could be good enough for you. I won't lose to you. Look at me now, it's showtime.
Peter.
What is it like to be loved and so adored? If I could be just as good as you, I'll never have to wonder. I can be better than I've ever been before. All the love it takes, I know I can be number one. No matter what they say, I'll never lose my way. I'm so much stronger.
This is the first boss I was able to beat without some form of cheat since the first boss in the game. This is the fourth, by the way. Yeah, no, it was actually a solid fight, which is part of why I mentioned it. The cat was stupid. Cat bulldozed me. Hey! Safina thinks she's so great. She's never lost a duel. But I defeated her. I'm the first. She doesn't get to look down on me anymore. Saf was pretty beat up. That's when Headmistress Aeldra showed up. She was furious at Safina about something. Headmistress took her away. I don't know where to. I'll see you again, and next time I'll win. Ugh, so cute. Okay, game. Okay. So we've got our own Xenos. Well, at least we finally learned something. We still don't know where Safina is. We need to get into Saf's room. I have a feeling whatever's there will lead us to her. Then we could find Rook. I mean, I suppose that's a strange sentence. Of course the cat was harder. Rook? Okay, hang on. I wasn't expecting to immediately have a cutscene, so... Alt tab time. Halo, SPV-3, Secret Weapon, over Normandy. And Sky Odyssey. Thank you, J. Palmer. I do always appreciate you. Oh, and thank you, Nmilk. Very much appreciate. I was already alt-tabbing to jot that down, so that works for me. And we'll put that towards Factorio, Graveyard Keeper, and Azeroth Reborn. Good night, J. Palmer. Have a good one. So, actually good boss fight. Holy crap. Sorry, jotting down some notes. Don't mind me. Okay. Hey now. I've missed you. Where you been? You hasn't been avoiding me lately. I got locked out of the school. We managed to get back in through Saf's passage. So, are we just hanging with strangers in my room now? Oh, no, this is Merritt. She's Safina's sister. Saf has a sister now? She always has. You're usually not one for pranks, Petronella. Nobody's pranking you. Do you think we get your help with something? Maybe. Things are a little bit weird right now. I'm kind of working on my summer research project. All this weird new magic is proving a couple of theories I have. Can't Saf help you out? We're actually looking for Saf. Do you know where she is? No, I'm not sure. Saf and I haven't talked much lately. Please, Rook, she's missing and I think she's in trouble. We're stumped. We need your brain. It's Safina. She's always in trouble. She'll be fine now. It's different this time. There's strange magic all around. The headmistress took her somewhere and the Coven mages are looking for her. Wait, the Coven is after her? Ibn Oxley? With a guardian named Bax? Oxley? Master Mage himself? He's here? Is he signing? Actually, he wasn't much of a master. So you'll help us? Safina really is deep in this time, isn't she? Okay, I'll help out. We can probably figure this out together. Catch me up on the deets inside. So, do we tell him his idol's a hoax? No. Oh, interesting. I find it difficult to believe Gilda could beat Saf in a duel. Wouldn't if I didn't see her power with my own eyes. Oh, the strange magic you described. The sudden magic is the same for me. Do you think it's related? Do you think you need to jot down a positive over here? It must be. There's no records of fire or lightning magic. You have magic! You have magic! And you don't have fire or lightning magic. What is wrong with you? What kind of joyless, dead world do you live in that you don't have fire or lightning magic? Do you think Saf has something to do with this? There's no evidence of that, but something's definitely up. You say there's a magic force protecting her room? Yeah, I could open her passage at school, but this one wouldn't budge an inch. Oh, okay, you for a library trip, then. Library? Look, we don't have time to look at Saf's borrowing records. If she learned to bury a spell from a book, we can find it. And if we know exactly what it is, we might be able to break it. Rook, that's genius. Sounds good. How do we get to the library? South of the main courtyard. Okay. To the library. Okay, what do you have? Damage. Summon a creature to hit an enemy and shower you with treasure? That sounds suspicious. Send worn spellbook pages to damage a group of targets. Lay a trap for enemies by drawing an invisible sigil on a tile. Summoner. Hellbringer. Rifleman. Sorry. 3 people are going to get that. And we'll understand completely. Everyone else is just going to look at me weird. Well, Petronella is like a alchemist mage. So that's, I don't know what element that is. Creation, I guess? I don't know. Having him being wind would make sense. I suppose. This poor guy. More thorns. Well, thank you for opening the way. Oh no. Oh no. It's Gwenora. A nasty spirit who lives inside the school. She takes the form of a face and can appear on all kinds of places. Always trying to get a rise out of folks. She once appeared in the door of a bathroom stall I was in. I screamed so loud. Try not to take the bait. Huh? Oh. Students. Loud, smelly students. Gwenora, we need to get to the study hall. Oh. The bookworm needs in the library, does he? He spends more time in here than with his friends. Oh, be quiet. It's not true. Not entirely. Oh, there are more. The little sniveling kid. Not crying to yourself in the stalls today. Oh, you really are a piece of work, aren't you? Aww. Sniff. If it isn't the foulest of them all. The red-haired brat who stabbed me in the eye. We haven't met, you ghoul. But I assume you're talking about Safina. Ah, well, you do seem quite forgettable. I think I'll stay right where I am, thank you. Let's see why Safina applied the makeover. Hey, Rook, how do we get in with this jerk in our way? I'm not sure. Gwennora's rather stubborn. Professor Leora. Yeah, let's get some more stabbing action. So where do we find the professor? Alchemy professor. Probably the smartest professor in the whole school. The alchemy labs are north of here, across the schoolyard. Okay. Ooh. Upgrades. Actual honest-to-God upgrades. That cost half my money. But I'm still gonna do it. Oh, hang on, I'm out of money. Hang on. What? Okay, whatever. Also did that while we're here. Didn't do that on purpose. It's cool. It's cool. Damn. It's like the first time I've just had straight up upgrades in the entire game from a vendor. Like, so far, almost all the vendor stuff has not been worth picking up. Okay. This one, maybe? No. But there's thorns in the way. These thorns are a problem. I'll have to take the exit out back of the dormitory. Okay, I can do that. But, no kidding, we literally have fire magic. Alright, so what we got? Curse has a weird range. mortar has a very weird range. There's the AoE. There's the trap. Let's lay a trap. I mean, it's the same reason it always is. It's people pushing the boundaries and limits and seeing how much they can get away with. Well, yeah, Dakota. You ever played Tic-Tac-Toe? That game is a trap. So let's see. That is a very strange pattern. Do you see that? Of course he has blood curses. Why wouldn't he? He's a book nerd. Come on. Yeah, this isn't quite true anymore, but the sheer quantity of the US government that ran on the honor system was not insubstantial for a couple centuries or so. It's very Roman. A lot of things were tradition, not law. Something's really messed with the dorms. These shelves are blocking the doorway. Shove. Uh-huh. That was a heal. Are you okay now? Yeah. Chauncey. That was too close for comfort. I'm lucky you were here. It's not luck. The reason I'm here is to prevent this from happening. Well, you're amazing. I don't know what I'd do without you. That makes two of us. Why am I on this mission anyway? Sneaking, spying, intel gathering. That's just more your cup of tea. I had to pull some strings with the Coven. I have a feeling something big is happening here. And you know we're most powerful when we're together. That we are. Now, you coming? We've got a witch to find. Stop running ahead, please. So Oxley really is here. We're just pulling my leg. Yeah, and they're hunting for Saf. Who knows what kind of trouble she's in. I want to find her before they do. Yeah, let's tread lightly. I heard the last time Oxley got in a fight, not but a crater was left behind. I don't know. Maybe those stories are exaggerated a bit. Personally, I'm more worried about the other guy. Was the other guy at those previous battles? Because, you know... Alchemy Labs, please take note of all fire escapes. Because see, it's an alchemy lab. No open flames, unless you dislike your skin and hair. This place is a mess. Alchemy is a messy practice, but this is bad. Oh god, this music. hell are those? Safety pane, love pane, rocket pane. It's not a full-on scam, but it's definitely questionable. Archer usually has an arc saber for wife, so it can like shoot over things, for example. Whereas a gun requires direct line of sight. Anything past that depends on the game. Tic-tac-toe. That's right, you ticked when you should have tacked. Fool! Let's see what this does. I found a coin. Is that my thief skill? Is that what that is? I think it is Dakota. I think that's our robbery skill. Mugging, or whatever you want to call that. Oh, jeez. Keep your mimic happy and it'll keep giving you new stuff. Or it's like V Rising, where you can use it to process materials. Wow, that's one of my favorite uses of a mimic ever. For those of you who know, I'm not being facetious. In V Rising, it's part of your base, right? And you set it up to process any constructed material, like gear, for example, down into its raw components. That just sits there going, Unfortunately, you cannot feed people to it. There's other stuff you do with people. Hell are those? Tar frogs. Eh. I'm thinking at least one positive from music so far. I haven't decided past that yet. Nothing's blown me away so far. But I also haven't heard anything that I would consider to be bad either. Okay, so we have a green slime key. Spells to the ready, gang. Wait, that's not a monster. Hello, students. Hello, Professor Mildberg. Sorry about that. I had to clear my throat. Grah. Sorry, I didn't know. Glad to see you're well, Professor. What happened to the labs? Why is there goo everywhere? If it isn't Petronella, my brightest potion student. Well, I'm not... Isn't it a disaster in here? Whole place is a mess. Alchemy itself is all twisted even. What do you mean, alchemy itself? Half the formulas don't work. The other half are twice as potent. Sadio's trying to get things under control, but even she is having trouble. This is bad. This is very bad. Nobody knows alchemy like Professor Leora does. Well, we only need her help with a ward. Do you know where she is, Professor? She should be in her office. You can get there. Thank you for your help. Anything for a passionate pioneer. Oh, one last thing. One of those big jelly blocks gets in your way. Give it a tickle 3 times, right in the sweet spot. It's a goo thing. Thanks. What do you got? Nothing. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. I actually wasn't expecting a battle. Oh my god, our spruce. I like Blade Tavell's reference better. Well, let's rob this person. Give me your money. Where's my money? Can I? Oh, I can. Let's poison the slime. Oh, hey, we can. I didn't think it would let us. Interesting attack. I'm just gonna keep robbing people. I'm trying to think. There's very few RPGs where it's actually worthwhile to pretty much constantly be mugging the enemy. But there are a few. Like, there's a couple where it's worthwhile to literally always have a thief in the party, or equivalent. And they just spend 100% of their downtime, or I guess uptime? No, whatever. 100% of their actions stealing. Because it's worth it. Now, whether that's worthwhile game design, that's a little more debatable. Because at that point, it's just a party tax, right? Chronotrigger is kind of an asterisk, because Ayla is, you know, the heaviest hitting melee in the entire game, in addition to being the thief. So, like, if she's ever not stealing, she's killing. I don't know, Dakota. True, Blade Ball. That's actually a valid point. Probably because it was the same team working on both. What is this music? Oh, those. See, I'm trying to think of somewhere where it's like a give and take kind of a thing. Like, okay, so the immediate thought, which I don't actually like, was like, maybe you only have a chance to steal stuff normally, but if you use the Mimic, it's a guaranteed steal. But the detriment, the cost, is that the Mimic eats some of the spoils. I don't like that, though. And at least part of that's because I've played a lot of RPGs where a chance to steal exists, and let me tell you, chance to steal sucks. Yeah, exactly, Dakota. So it's like, What's up, Blitchball? A random thought that occurs to me is we could have an unrelated cost. Although that doesn't fix the core problem, does it? That could work, Blitchball. It's worth noting, part of the reason FF9's steal system isn't the worst ever is because you can steal more than one item from an enemy. For those in chat not aware, the idea of enemies having multiple items in their loot table is actually really old in the FF series. In fact, it goes back to FF1. The problem is, each enemy only has one item. So once you take the one item, if it's the common item, the rare item isn't there. But in FF9, once you've gotten the common item, you can keep going for the rare item. I know FF1 didn't have steal, it's just in drop rates, but it's the same concept. So... Oh my god, it's a mortal slime! Remember, alchemy is fickle. You must expect failure. But a good alchemist tests, tests, and tests some more. This is how great new inventions are made. Remember this, immortal slime. That's true, actually, Blades of All. Although, considering I could auto-win at any time, I could just try to steal until I do it. So anyways, let's go give Immortal Slime. There we go. There's Immortal Slime. Thank you very, very much for the donation. Always appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. Give me a moment. I will write that down. For DBZ Brought Dragon Age 4 and Gold Steel. Hi, Dream Whisperer. Do not ingest alchemical electrofluid. If not for its life-threatening properties, then because the side effects of the antidote are extremely uncomfortable. Gets this orange. Yeah, there was an issue with it, so I had to wipe it. And wipe it I did. Okay. Oh, there's the empty vial. Concealment alchemy only permitted for designated test doors. Start losing your invisible belongings, you have only yourself to blame. Thank you, Immortal Slime. I think. I'm not sure. I should be saying thank you there. But thank you. Ooh, increased movement. I'll update it soon, but by soon I mean give me like a week. Okay, so now we have glowing vial. Okay, okay. Advanced alchemy and magic substances. Please clean up after yourself. The rest of us also have messes to make. I mean... Actually, I'm not feeling good at all. I might have to cut off early. I don't know what's happening. I was fine this morning. And I'm just, like, slowly descending into I don't know what's wrong with me. It's one of those vague things where nothing specific hurts. It's just everything hurts. You probably know the feeling. Yeah, no, it's probably just me fighting off whatever's going around right now. The littlest one has started going to school as well, so we now have a second vector. I have this vague idea that, like, there's two sides of the steel equation, right? There's the stealing itself, and then there's everything else. And I had this vague idea of maybe like, there's multiple ways to steal, but each method of stealing does something different in addition to stealing. So going back to our mimic, right? What's the mimic do? Well, the mimic does damage. It's mugging, to use the Final Fantasy equivalent. So you're actually still doing damage, you're just also getting something out of it. The only problem with that is, what's the point of using any other method of stealing at that point? Indeed, what's the point of stealing at all if all you're going to do is steal every round? You could also do a system where, how do I explain this? Maybe the mimic has to chew? It sounds really awful. it's very morbid. But what I mean by that is it has a cooldown. So you literally cannot mimic, you cannot eat every single enemy, you cannot mug every single enemy you encounter. I don't know. I feel like with some workshopping this could work, but everything I'm coming up with just feels like a waste of time. Something to chew on. Make sure your rune is drawn properly. Once it is, you just need to... And there you have it. A beautiful bottle of sealing solvent. Are sealing solvents even necessary, Professor? Why can't we just use mending spells? Mending magic works just fine, young Abednego. Forgetting the very purpose of alchemy. Only witches and wizards can use mending magic. How's an ordinary to mend in such a fashion, or an incapacitated magic user? But potions can be used by anyone, and are for everyone. That is the brilliance of alchemy, and why it's so important. With that in mind, remember that alchemy can be dangerous. A hastily drawn rune could easily... Ow, 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 ow! Young Nitai, are you alright? What happened? I'm fine. I just followed the instructions. Let me see. Well, yours actually turned out alright. Your runes are fine. Your execution just needs practice. Did you remember to erase your draft circle? No, but... Ah! My ears are still ringing. You always keep things exciting, Gilda. Alright, students. Back to your runes. Clean up, Natai. Now let's try again. I'll watch more closely this time and check your form. And you can stop teasing, Hildegard. Everyone learns differently. Focus on your own assignment. Sorry. But the assignment? I finished it last week. I'm actually going through the next chapter now. Although the recipes are quite outdated, so I'm changing them around a bit. Taking the initiative. Well, carry on then. You okay here, Professor? Professor Leora? Huh? Yes, just one moment. Makes no sense. Why is this happening? Rook, Petronella, my most diligent students. What a stroke of luck. I was just thinking I could use a few assistants. Professor, what happened here? It's ridiculous. Alchemy itself is turned upside down. Alchemy itself? We already knew this. Half the formulae don't work. The other half are exploding in my face. Yeah, we knew this. We already know this. Been having the same problem. But I'm glad you're all here. Now is not the time to be locking things down. What was Eldra thinking? I agree. I'm trying to get to the bottom of things. We tried to get to the library, but Gwenora's blocked it off. She won't budge. I'm hoping you can help us ward her off. Gwenora, that old spirit. I might be able to make you a potion to annoy her away. Of course I need my cauldron to make it. But it wandered off. Your cauldron wandered off? Ah, there it is. Oh no, this is a boss, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Wait, why am I fighting her too? Okay. Okay, now she seems to be on our side. Totally. She's gonna make things worse, isn't she? She is. Oh my god. Okay. 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 At least we can poison the cauldron. That thing's pure cast iron. We'll never defeat it at this rate. What do we do? Actually, I think this is technically an ad fight, and we just have to endure for X turns. Yeah, the cauldron has 9,999 health. Actually, yeah, Blade Duval. What I find really funny is how much effort was spent in that series to try and make him seem less horrible of a person than he really was. It's like, oh, he was just a kid. It's like, he was a dick, dude. What are you talking about? Let's try this again. That's more like it. Alright, let's use our mimic. That's actually kind of cool to go with. And that could go back to that, you know, steel does different things depending on which one you do. Okay, this isn't working. Let's try a new approach. I'm going to use a difficult spell to draw out the spirit possessing it. Requires concentration, so defeat it while I work the spell. Okay, phase 2, I suppose. Oh, very few of them try Axia. Especially because that setting just does not know how to do anything. Chuckles has 100 health, which means it probably actually wants us to kill him. Hey, Ross. We're just debating how to actually make it... Oh my god, that was a lot of damage. Stealing actually worth a damn in an RPG, and honestly, I'm kind of running into a wall on that. Yeah, I think so, Trax, yeah. Oof, okay, that's starting to hurt a little. Well, see, it's sort of the problem I'm running into is it's easy to make steel useful, but at a certain point, all you're doing is making the player decide if they want to sacrifice a party spot for someone who is there to steal, right? And I don't know, that's just not as interesting as it could be, I think. Like, a lot of RPGs have tried to fiddle around with steel mechanics over the years. It almost always boils down to the same thing. Either steel is incredibly useful to the point where you just kind of want to always have a stealer. FF7, FF9, Chrono Trigger, FF6. Or it's... that's on me. Or it's sufficiently useless to the point where you never even want to engage in it. There's actually an in-between, too. It's extremely useful, but very frustrating. Which is its own problem. Yeah, like, it feels like if we removed stealing and just made it the drop rate, nothing would really change, you know? Like, it feels less interactive, but at the same time, like, what's really changing? That's one of the ideas I tossed out, which is based off of Stick of Truth. Where you could steal, but steal also does X in addition to stealing, whatever X happens to be. Yeah, you'll notice I'm using steal every round on him, because of course I am. And that's sort of what started the conversation, is that's sort of how that goes. The moment you gain access to steal, you use it every round, because it's always useful. I mean, some games have done it better than others. We already mentioned, you know, FF6 and Chrono Trigger, both of which do the same general approach. Damn it, Immortal Slime. Stop giving me money. Wet it. Wet it. Why are you doing this, Immortal Slime? Why? That's not a bad idea, Dakota. That sounds more interesting to me. I think that's hitting the nail on the head right there. Is rather than stealing giving you additional items, or more items, or even better items, have the ability to steal give you different items, right? In other words, at that point, stealing is a choice of what type of loot you want, as opposed to just being better. In order to make that not a waste, we'd probably then make it so steal does something else, because otherwise you're sacrificing a turn to change someone's loot table, which is just kind of irritating. Digimon, there we go, story time stranger, because long words. Cold Steel, again, and Kakarot, again. Thank you, again, Mortal Slime. Please stop giving me money. I know you're the boss fight right now, but please. I do appreciate you. That's true, it could just be a passive. Do you have a gelatinous cube with you? Well, then this is the type of loot table you get. Do you have a mimic with you? Well, then this is the type of loot table you get. Did you bring the rogue? Well, then this is the loot table you get. And if you bring nothing, then there's like a final loot table that you have access to. Or whatever. Something like that. At that point, it doesn't, take up any actions. It's just part of your loadout. Speaking of, let's go ahead and rob this guy. Of his rancid fruit. How close are you? He's not even an... Oh my gosh. I don't know how much of that is, Ross. I'm not sure I want to know. Yeah, well, that didn't work out. Sweet! That sucks. No, see, that's the thing, but I don't disagree with you. Even though I just mentioned the idea, I'm not sure I like it. Chuckles has lost its sense of humor. There's a phase 3 to this fight. Oh, that really hurt like hell. Jesus Christ. How much health do you have left? lot. I mean, not a huge amount, but still a lot. Yeah, I think we need to start doing damage, just straight up. I feel like we've hit the race phase of the fight here. Remind me which one Call to Arms was specifically, Ross. I'm pretty sure it's DS9. Oh my god. Re-exploding slimes. Okay, we're okay. Yeah, if anything's gonna beat Best of Both Worlds, that's gonna be it. Yeah, not a bad boss fight. A little too long. But I haven't played it at all, unfortunately, Immortal Slime. Fantastic job, students. It worked. Here you go. Give Gunnar one sniff of that and she'll scatter. I can smell it through the bottle. I mean, it's possible, Lloyd. Thank you, Professor. I believe in you, kids. You'll get to the bottom of this. I'm going to get things under control here, but after that, I'll be around with supplies to help any injured students. Speaking of, what do you sell? Nothing. Yeah, it could literally just be because we have a party. This would not be the first RPG we've played recently where the game just noticeably gets better the moment you gain access to a real party. I think I am going to do exactly what I said I'm going to do, though, and lay down for a bit, because I'm not feeling great. The intent is to have a second stream, so hopefully I will see you again later today.